ready to cook. Now we're kind of getting into this plant-based cooking a bit this week, and I thought we would create another recipe, plant-based. We are going to make some delicious Friday night chili tacos, but we're also going to make her favourite, which is s'mores. So we're going to make some vegan-style shortbreads with vanilla, and we're going to make vegan marshmallow, aren't we?
It's good.
We've tested it today, haven't we?
It is tasty.
Are
It
you
tastes exactly like marshmallow.
Well, yeah, good. So we're going to get started. What we're going to make is our taco filling first, okay? So get the pan on. Pops, are you doing the onion today or me?
I'll do.
I feel like we do a lot of onions at the moment. Are you ready with that knife?
No, I don't want that.
Okay.
I don't know.
You want this one? Little tipless knife. So cut the onion in half. Take your time. There's no rush. Do you want a race?
No.
Because I said there's no rush and now I want a race. No, it's fine. Do you remember that? See? Do you know what? Each time you do it, you're getting a bit better at it.
See, you're going to win the race.
I can't do it slowly. I'm not racing. So we just slice up. So what Poppy's doing is it the wrong way round again. Look, you remember the core goes the other way.
I did it last time.
I know you did. Every time. You do it right, but the wrong way round. You're just like your dad. Okay, so I'm going to slice the onion up nice and fine. Good solid backbone of food. Get some onions in the pan. Get it cooking. Get your pan on. And then we're going to get some spices in. I had a really good job for Thomas as well, you know, today, but we haven't got my second helper today.
He's not there.
He's building a den in his bedroom for a virtual camping trip, which I think is quite cool. Do you want me to finish those and you get the pepper chopped? Yeah? So if you have any questions while we're cooking, please fire them in onto on Facebook, and Emily will pass them over, and she's got a pile of questions today, she's already told me, just in case. If anyone is cooking along with us live, let us know. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to know how you're getting on, and we'd love even more to see how your cooking comes out as well. So make sure you send some pictures of your dishes when you're done. We were out on a walk yesterday, and we got stopped, didn't we? Somebody had been cooking live with us. So onions in, nice hot pan.
Like slices. Do you want slices?
I want them dicing really, really small.
Okay, I'll just do them like this and then I'll...
And then cut them into little pieces. Okay. Come on, Emily, fire your first question at me. I know you're busting too. Yeah? Okay.
So we're doing these hard shell tacos.
Yes, we are. Like these. Yeah. So we've got our tacos, the nice crunchy ones. Yes, go on.
Can you serve this spinach in the soft tortilla wrap?
Totally, and you can fold them all up like we did on Wednesday and make them like enchiladas, or you can roll them long ways into burritos, or if you've got a load of pancakes left over from Tuesday, you can roll them up in that as well. Right, we're going to get a little bit of salt onto our onions because that will draw the moisture out, and that will help us caramelize our onions and make them much nicer, so they taste less like fried onions and more sort of caramelized and sweet. So it's all about getting the moisture out so that we can get loads of flavour in. Okay.
Is that small enough?
Yeah, perfect. So in with our red peppers. You can use the jarred red peppers as well if you like, but just add them in a little bit later because they're already cooked. You are flying today, Missy. Is she cooking with Timothy today? It's usually Natalie and Timothy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Good. Right, in with our peppers. Right, are we in? Chuck them in, kiddo. So we're going to get our taco filling going, get it all cooking and bubbling away, and then while we're doing that, we're then going to make some vanilla shortbreads, and then we're also going to make our vegan marshmallow, and we're just going to kind of smash them all together, and the kids will tuck in. We'll toast them. Got my little blowtorch so we can toast them. Right, so pass me those lentils, Poppy. Right, so we're actually going to add, so on Wednesday we added, what did we add? Mushrooms and jackfruit. And then the reason why I've done these both in the same week is because I wanted to show you kind of all the options. And the one that the last option that I used to sort of do plant-based sort of Mexican style stews and things like that is lentils. And I've actually got some cooked lentils here, so it's even quicker. But you can get tinned lentils, which you have to wash. I think these are Merchant Gourmet or something like that, they do them. And they're just cooked, refreshed and vat packed. So in with those, Potster.
Okay. Yeah, Timothy's cooking along.
Is he? Interesting. Right. Okay, Pops, I'll take that. Can you sprinkle in the smoked paprika into there? That's fine. Right, those are cumin. Now, on the recipe, I put ground cumin, but I wanted to actually show the kids what cumin's like as a spice. So hang on. Let's. Can you see that, Emily? You see those?
Yeah.
So they are cumin seeds, and my plan was to get young Thomas to smash these, but Poppy's going to do it now. So, cumin seeds. Let me put a little bit of salt in. Easy, Tiger. The salt will work as an abrasive, and what you actually get is a much more vibrant, intense flavour and aroma from cumin when you grind it yourself. I mean, don't get me wrong, I use ground cumin all the time, and it's really handy to have. But if you've got the time and you've got a bit of cheap labour, like I have next to me, grind them yourself, and all of a sudden, like cumin and coriander and cardamom and all those lovely spices, the flavour is so much more intense, and it's quite heady, isn't it? Can you get the smell?
Yeah.
Is it? Do you like it?
Yeah. How about your finger?
No, have you? A big pestle of mortar like this is absolutely the right thing to have. So let's just keep this moving. Right, Pops. Can you smell that? I bet you can smell that from here, can't you, Emily?
It smells really good.
So you'll just open some ground cumin and it's fine. It's good. But if you have seeds and you grind it, the whole kitchen just has that aroma of that kind of heady, fragrant spice. What I've done purposefully is not put chili in any of these dishes this week. I want to create the spices and the flavours without the heat. Because my kids don't like chili, they don't like heat. But we're introducing them to new flavours, new spices, and new combinations. Right, let me take that. You take that. I know, it smells good. So there's no heat in this. Yeah, I would say it's fragrant. So it's not a harsh, hot smell. It's kind of, it just smells really good. Thank you. Yeah. From me?
From me.
Okay. Sorry, just before you do it, tin tomato. Tin tomatoes in there, and then just half fill that with water for me.
Okay.
Yep. Yes, Emily, fire away.
So you added the cooked lentils that you use.
Yeah.
Then you could use any type of lentils if you really have to cook them yourself.
Yeah, pour that in. So, a little bit of water just allows it to sort of marry together into a sauce. And I'll be right with you, Emily. And then what this does now is it allows it all just to simmer and turn into that lovely kind of plant-based chili which we're trying to make. So, sorry, Emily, lentils.
Yeah.
What other lentils can we use?
Yeah, can you cook them yourself?
Yeah, so lentils usually you either soak and then boil up until they're tender and use them like that. Very few people cook lentils these days. People tend to buy them either in a tin or pre-cooked in a packet. Either is absolutely fine. Or if you've got some lentils sitting in the back of the cupboard, cook them up till they're tender, refresh them in cold water, and then you can use them. Right, we need to put our chocolate in now before Poppy eats it all. Bang that in, Pops. So dark chocolate acts as a seasoning, okay? This is a vegan-based dark chocolate, so there is no dairy in it. We're purely using it as 70% chocolate, so that it's got that sort of depth of flavour that the Mexicans would use in all their cooking. The Aztecs have been using chocolate in savoury for hundreds and hundreds of years, probably.
Lime.
Yeah, we're going to add some lime when it's cooked, We're just going to let that simmer away. Let's take this chopping board and move this over. And we're going to make some shortbreads. Right, Pops? So, I have got a plant-based margarine in here. I've got 250 grams. So this is my standard shortbread recipe. And I've taken out the egg yolk, which I would put in if I was making a French sablé style shortbread. Doesn't need it, it's purely a richness thing, but we're going to add richness with vanilla. So I've got 125 grams of sugar in there. Yes, Emily?
I've got a question from Giselle.
Cool.
Black beans work?
Yes, totally. Black beans really good. They've got a real sort of meatiness about them. And you can add those, no problem at all. If you wanted to use corn, you could chip corn in there. You know, any of these new plant-based mints you want. Black beans go in there, no problem. Lentils, you could add mushrooms in there. On Wednesday, we sort of shredded up oyster mushrooms, and it kind of gave us a nice texture. And basically, we've just got an amazing sauce in there, just cooking down now. We'll season it up, we'll finish it with coriander, lime, salt and pepper, and it'll be amazing.
Okay.
Right, so Poppy has blended the sugar and the margarine together. The key to it now is making sure that you can't hear that scratchy noise when you mix it. So a little bit more mixing. What we're trying to do is cream the sugar and the margarine together, and then we will add in the vanilla. So I'm just going to pour a tiny bit in now. I cannot believe it is absolutely pouring down with rain here. Since the minute we woke up today until still, it's flooded out there. It is just one of those miserable days where there's nothing better to do than spend the day in the kitchen with the kids. They've been Pop's been baking today. You know, there's nothing else to do, so cook. Right, vanilla in?
Yeah.
Okay, so we've now got 375 grams of plain flour, and Pops is going to add that. Now, if you wanted to, you could add lemon zest, lime zest, orange zest. You could add cocoa powder if you wanted them to be more chocolatey. You could add ginger to them. You can kind of add any flavours you want at this point.
Well, somebody's asked me about shortbread cake.
Yeah.
I sometimes not like them, so is that okay?
I don't. I've never melted it before because I've never needed it to. If you're using butter, obviously it's rock hard out of the fridge, so you'll need to soften it. The key is to get sugar and fat to amalgamate together into one new texture. If you melt it, it doesn't really work. You end up with melted fat and sugar sitting at the bottom. So personally, no, I wouldn't do that. But room temperature, soft margarine or butter, whatever you're using, is a must. Hopefully that helps. This recipe, actually, I've been making this shortbread for like 20 years and it's never really changed. The only thing I've done is I've changed the fat to a plant-based margarine, and I've removed the egg yolk for this job because we're trying to sort of just bring a whole plant-based style cookery to somebody who isn't a plant-based eater but kind of has no objection to it, quite enjoys it. Don't need to eat meat in my diet. I'm quite happy to eat plant-based food. I think it's a really exciting time to cook at the moment because there's so many new methods and techniques of creating textures and flavours. Flavour, I find, is the easy bit. It's the textures and things like that. That's where it kind of, the challenge is. And I have a friend down the road here who is a vegan chef, and we're always bouncing ideas off each other. And in fact, so much so, my friend Kat, look at these. Vegan lemon meringue pies she brought me to taste. And you can try one. Here you go. Not all of it. There you go. What do you think?
Good.
Really good really crisp pastry actually. Really nice. Lemon curd, plant-based, and the meringue delicious. We shared the meringue ideas yesterday and bounced them between each other, and we're going to do those next. Right, we ready?
Yep.
Right. So, we'll use that shortbread because that's rested. So, no, it's fine. So, we've got this shortbread here. Are you alright? Oh, Emily's just doing a quick technical adjustment with the camera. That's okay. Right, let's get some flour. So do we know if anyone's cooking with us today? Or are they all watching? Give us a shout out if you're cooking as well with us. Okay, so a little bit of flour on our shortbread. Oh, sorry, right in front of the camera.
Yeah.
Schoolboy error.
Yeah,
Okay, so you can see we've got a really nice shortbread dough. And the good thing about this is it will sit in the fridge and just slice off when you want some. Nothing nicer than lovely, warm, vanilla-y shortbreads straight out of the oven, especially on a day like today. So I'm going to pop that over there. Stop eating raw shortbread.
It's not. It's
Okay.
not any eggs.
No, it hasn't.
It is edible.
Well, it is, but the flour's not so good. Right.
It is. It's tasty.
I'm just going to get a rolling pin, and we are going to very gently. Now, because we've used the plant-based margarine, it's not as robust a dough, okay? So you've got to be quite gentle. Do you want to get me some flour pops?
Yeah.
Okay. Pop me some on there. That's it. And then we'll turn it over. And then just a very gentle. Now this is actually a marble rolling pin, so it's quite heavy. So I don't need to put any pressure on it at all. Okay. Can you get me that non-stick tray and a cutter? And all we're going to do is we're going to roll them. So roll it once forwards, then backwards, and then again. And we're just going to cut these. I'm just going to cut 6. And we've got some that we've already made as well. So in terms of keeping the whole thing moving. Don't need them yet, Poppy.
Okay.
Okay. Can you get a fish slice spatula?
Spatula or fish slice?
Fish slice, yeah. You know the ones that we use for pancakes? Any more questions, Emily? I know you worked hard on them today.
Does it have magnets? Yes. Yeah. For the shortbread.
Yeah.
Flavour them.
Yeah, totally, yeah. So, lemon zest, lime zest.
Put that in the bowl.
Yeah, I'm going to re-roll it in a second, Poppy. You could put chocolate chips in there, you could put walnuts in, you could put cocoa powder in. The only thing with cocoa powder is you've got to be careful because it does dry your bake out a little bit. So you might find that you need to add a touch of water to counterbalance the cocoa. And what I would do is remove like a tablespoon of flour and put a tablespoon of cocoa powder in. You could do coffee ones if you wanted. You could put seeds and nuts and things like that in them. Once you've got just a really nice shortbread recipe, you can kind of add, as long as you're not adding anything wet or anything too dry. And if you are, you need to make a counter move. So like I said with the flour, pull the flour out if you're adding cocoa.
Wouldn't you do 50 grams, because it's 100 grams, could you do 50 grams of cocoa and then 50 grams?
For flour, that would be a little bit too strong, that. I would go 25%. So what's 25% of 100 grams?
75.
So, that's 75%. 25 grams.
25.
Got it? It's all right, we'll get you back to school soon. Won't we? Hey? Double maths for you.
I don't like maths.
Right.
Oh, somebody's asked.
Yeah?
Do you use vanilla pods or vanilla essence?
Vanilla pods are so expensive at the moment. They're probably about £5 each. So if you've got that kind of money to throw at them, good for you. Vanilla pods are delicious, don't get me wrong. We're actually using this. Can you show them this one, Emily?
Yeah, 1 second. Yeah.
So this is vanilla bean paste. So if you use 1 teaspoon, it equates to 1 vanilla pod. And obviously you have a bit of a liquid here, and I can show you it. You see the like white specks, you get all the little pods in there. But I mean, there's nothing nicer than fresh vanilla, but it's just so expensive at the moment. Right, well, you're supposed to use a fish slice, aren't you?
Oh, yeah.
Right, pop them in the oven. Okay?
The oven's not on.
It's all right, just pop them in. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, no, it is on.
There you go. Bottom one, yeah?
Yeah.
Brilliant. Pop them in. Done. Right, so let's have a look at our chicken. We're going to make our meringue next. Okay? So,
I'll open it.
can you do can opener? Now, it's all about chickpea water. So, a tin of chickpeas. Okay? And we're going to use the liquid that's in the chickpea water, in the tin of chickpeas. We'll use the chickpeas for something else, and I'll show you a really quick way of turning them into a tasty snack, or you can blend them and make your own hummus or something like that, or you can throw them into a stew or a soup, a tagine or anything like that. Let me take that because it's sharp. Okay, so Poppy, before you do that, hang on.
Sieve.
No.
Coriander.
Coriander. So sit that coriander on there and just pour that through. Pour the whole thing in. Okay, I'll take that.
Okay.
And then you lift the chickpeas out. And what I'd like you to do is pop the chickpeas in this pan for me. And I'm going to show you what to do with those in just 1 minute. Yeah, you can if you want to. Right, that can go. So, Emily, let me show you that. Can you see it?
Just about.
Just about. It's just the water from the chickpeas. And what we're going to do is we're going to whip this for about 10 minutes in the electric mixer. I've got my KitchenAid over there. I've not got it here because it's pretty boring to look at and it's too noisy. But all I'm going to do is ask Poppy to put that on full speed for 10 minutes. All right? And then I will show you what we do with it. Off you go. Go put it on the mixer. It's plugged in and ready to go. All right? So let me just knock it down 1 notch so that they can hear us. Okay, right. So while that's working away, let's have a little look at our chilli. All right, so can you see that, Emily? That looks like a pretty good chilli to me. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a little taste. Teaspoon for each of us. Are you having a taste? Here you go. Oh yeah. Like that. Have a little dip. Just try the sauce there. Just a tiny bit. I like that. What do you think? Is it a little bit too hot for you? Well, there's no chili in it, so it can't be hot. Anyway, right. So what's happened is the lentils have started to absorb some of the moisture, and we've got this lovely texture now. Because we're having tacos, we want to continue to reduce that a little bit to get the sort of texture, because otherwise it's just going to fall out of there. So you've got to get quite a sort of dry mince, if you like, a dry chili. Because if I just put this in now, they'll just fall out of the ends. And believe me, these are tricky enough to eat as it is. Right, Poppy, do you want to drain that coriander, fresh coriander off? And I think we'll top that. Go in the sink. Okay. I'm going to add the juice of a lime into our chili. I'll do half first, and then we'll do the other half later. This is optional, but I just think it just makes all the difference. It really balances something that's quite intense, and it just lightens it all up. And we're actually going to serve these with a little bit of coconut yogurt, just for that sort of creaminess, instead of sour cream. Right, big knife? Oh, I've got it here. Or do you want to chop the coriander?
I'll chop it.
So, what you want to do, hang on, is the stalk, you pick the stalks off.
Don't need that.
No, we absolutely do. There's way more flavour in the stalk than there is in the leaf. So we're going to get the stalk in first, and then we're going to finish with the leaf. So if you have a smell of that, have a smell. That smells much stronger than that, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, because all the flavour is inside the stalk. So if you now smell that, that's the stalk. So there's way more flavour in there than there is in the leaf. The leaf is lovely and it's delicate, but it won't stand up to being put in the pan and cooked for too long. So the stalk will. So cook with the stalk, finish with the leaf. Okay? You add that in and give it a nice gentle stir. Right. Let me show you where we're up to. If I show you this, Emily, can you cut to that?
You can put it on, yeah, perfect.
Can you see that? Look, we're starting to get a meringue. How weird is that? Chickpea water whisked up into meringue. It just blows my mind every time we do it. It really does. So we're a couple of minutes away and we're going to add a couple of ingredients to that. to help stabilise it, sweeten it, and turn it into that sort of marshmallowy texture. Now, traditionally with a marshmallow, you would boil sugar and water to a stock syrup, and you would then pour that stock syrup into your meringue and let it continue to whip and cool, and it's also got gelatin in it as well. We're doing a plant-based approach to it, so we've not added the gelatin. What we have added is a little bit of xanthan gum, which just kind of binds it and makes it more like a marshmallow than just a meringue. And then we're also adding cream of tartar and sugar. And for anyone out there, a good friend of our family, bless her, and she knows exactly what I'm talking about, cream of tartar. Now, my friend bought tartar sauce to make a chocolate cake, and I'll never forget when she told me this. So, you know tartar sauce that you serve with fish and chips? She put that in instead of cream of tartar. So don't make that mistake, Catherine. Right, okay, so we've got xanthan gum, really easily available. You can get it in the bakery section. It's next to all the flowers and things like that. It's quite a popular thing now. It's really easy to get hold of. The recipe is on Masterclass website, and it'll also be posted on the Facebook page. So we are good there. Now,
Got 4 minutes.
4 minutes. Oh, I might run over. What are you going to do? So I've got my chickpeas here. So we drained the chickpeas, and I bought this product here. So just cut into that, Emily.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's chipotle paste. It's amazing. Absolutely delicious. You are in my way a lot today.
Why? Is that too big a spoon?
Too big a spoon, it doesn't fit, yeah. Need a little spoon. So a little spoon of chipotle paste. You could just use normal chili if you like. I'm going to add some olive oil. Are you seeing this, Emily? You are? Good. And then I'm going to season it with some salt. And that'll help dry it out. And some pepper.
Do you want this spoon?
No, I'm good. And you should be able to see, this is more for the grown-ups, this, than the kids. What happens is, as it warms up the chipotle paste, it starts to coat the chickpeas. Could you just grab me a cloth, please, Pop? Oh, no, there's one here. It's all right. And then I'm going to pop these in the oven for about 15 minutes to crunch up. And it's an amazing snack. Super good for your chickpeas, and they end up like this. All right, so they're a bit like peanuts, but they're delicious. So if I just pop those in there, good healthy snack, keeps you away from the Pringles.
Oh no.
Right, you're going to chop the rest of that coriander for me. Yeah? And then we're going to make our s'mores. And then that can just go into our chili. So, yeah, pop it all in. Right, so we've got our meringue. What'd you up, Litland?
I'm not in your way.
You're always in my way.
No, I'm not.
So, we're going to add our sugar in, 125 grams I think it is, off the top of my head. Teaspoon, I'm just going to double check this, because this is a new recipe. Right.
Just tried it today.
1 teaspoon of cream of tartar in there. Okay, and then half a teaspoon of xanthan gum. Xanthan gum is really popular in sort of gluten-free baking and bread because it really helps sort of with the elasticity. Do you want to pop that on? Back on the mixer. Give it another 2 to 3 minutes and it'll be ready. Okay?
What setting?
Medium. Okay. Just the medium one, so the middle one. Yeah? And then I'll have those biscuits as well, please. So let's get our plate out for dessert. Okay, so we've got our shortbreads here. And this is what I wanted to show you how it looks. Which shot are we on? This one? Which one are we on? This one? So this is now what happens when you... Bless you. When you've whipped up your egg whites, not your egg whites, your chickpea water, and you've added your sugar and your xanthan gum add a little bit of vanilla into this for me, Pops, just to give it some flavour, just a little bit. I know what you're like with vanilla. Well, there's £4 gone in there. That's your pocket money gone. Right, can you? I just want to put a dollop on there like that.
Do you want me to test
I want you to do that. You see how stringy it's become? So because of the xanthan gum, we don't actually need to add that boiling sugar. And to be honest, I don't want boiling sugar in my kitchen when I've got the kids around me. So it's just one less thing to worry about. The xanthan gum, no, just pop them on the top and we'll squash them all together. Put top 6 of those, yeah? A little bit on each one, and then you can blowtorch them. So I've got a little blowtorch. I must say, every kitchen should have a blowtorch because they're such useful pieces of equipment just to get that last little touch of caramelisation. Now, Emily had a question for me, so I'm going to steal her thunder. If you haven't got a blowtorch, preheat your grill, get it really, really hot for like 10 minutes before you just flash these under, because what you don't want to do, are you going to put them on these as well?
No.
You've run out of listening juice, haven't you, today? Right. Have we got any questions, Emily? From anyone out there? We're okay, are we? Everyone, eh? Always want one of your questions, Emily. Spend all week answering them. I might as well do some more. Yeah, well, it's pasteurised. It's pasteurised because it comes in a tin, so it's heat treated. So you haven't got to worry about raw eggs. It's actually a pretty good way to do meringues with kids because you know what they're like. They lick their fingers. They're this and that and the other. All right, go on. So actually, it's a really good way of doing it. So yeah, it's probably safer, to be honest.
What about flavour in the meringue?
Well, we put vanilla in ours. You have to be careful not to affect the stabilisation, but you can dust these with like little bits. So you can get like raspberry powder, and you can get like little drops of flavourings and things like that. It's quite stable once the xanthan gum's in. So right, are you ready? Yeah. Right. So what you do is, let me show you. You pull it down, yeah, and then you just blowtorch it like that.
Okay.
Take it nice and gentle. Go on. Pull down. Shall I do it?
No, I want to do it.
Hang on. There. There's a little lock on it now, so be very careful. The lightest of touch and keep it moving. That's it. And while you're doing that, once you've done those, pop them all on there. I'm going to fill the tacos. So nice, spoonful it. I'll show you when you need me to. Okay?
It smells like a marshmallow.
It smells like a marshmallow. It looks like a marshmallow. It could be the new marshmallow. That'll do. I'll do it.
Okay.
Alright, let go. There.
And then I need to put
Pop them on there. And we are about done.
So we don't need to fold
We're ready
it
to
in
eat. No, not unless you want to.
I'll do one and fold it in.
Yeah, squish it together and eat it if you like. You don't need asking twice, do you? So there you go. You can squash them together like s'mores if you want. You can eat them like that. Goodness me, Poppy. But there you go. And all I've done is I've got my tacos there. I've filled them. I've got lime juice. Onto the chopping board. There we go. You go over there with that.
Where do I put it?
In your mouth. Squeeze a bit of lemon juice or lime juice on the end and serve it up. I'm going to serve these with some coconut yogurt that I've squeezed extra lime juice in it. So it's very much like sour cream. But there you go. That was our Friday night supper, treat night tea, plant-based cooking. Thank you very much. If you've joined us all this week, I hope you've really enjoyed our cooking. We've had a good time doing it. Next week is ready to go. On Monday, we are going to be doing a peanut butter noodle dish. On Wednesday, we're going to be doing bao buns with barbecue meatballs. And then on Friday, this is Poppy's menu. We are going to teach you how to make Ben & Jerry's fish food, cookie dough ice cream, We're going to make nachos with that yellow cheese sauce and a fresh salsa, all ready for cinema night.
No,
what?
don't matter.
I've already said it.
Okay.
Thank you very much for joining us. We hope you have a great weekend and we will see you next week.